Let's start with some of these appointments and get your view. Adriana, first, Ryan Zinke, the congressman from Montana. He is not accepted but has been offered the Department of Interior. On this show last night, he said it would be awfully hard to tell the president no. Your thoughts?
That's right, and I think he'd be very strong in that position. I can tell you I was a little bit surprised because we thought McMorris, Congresswoman McMorris, was going to get that position, but things can change. It's been very competitive for all of these positions, and so I think that's a solid choice. I'm also satisfied with the Rex Tillerson appointment as Secretary of State. He has very strong ties with Russia, and that could actually help the United States because we have some we can cut a deal with Russia to advance some of the United States' interests. So, for example, Russia has leverage over the Syrian president. So if we can cut, let's say, an oil deal with them or relieve the sanctions, we can lean on President Putin to say, hey, we really want you to help us end the civil war in Syria. Putin also has leverage with Iran that could benefit the United States. And so I think that Americans need to remember that Hillary Clinton tried to have a Russian reset. Why can't the Trump administration?
Well, I think that's a great point, Adriana. Tony, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the Obama-Clinton foreign policy essentially gave up all our leverage in the region by withdrawing and retreating from the world stage, allowing Russia and China to some degree to fill that geopolitical vacuum. And now you have in Rex Tillerson somebody who has successfully negotiated with Russia, who runs one of the biggest multinational companies in the world, someone who understands diplomacy, who understands deal-making, the use of leverage as a valuable weapon in both diplomacy and economic negotiation. So there's absolutely no doubt that this is a very measured and dynamic pick by the president-elect. And I could see enormous success as a result of that fact.
You know, I love the choice of Governor Rick Perry for the Energy Department. Rick Perry is first of all, one of the classiest human beings, a great American, and I think will be terrific in that role. Ryan Zinke, the congressman from Montana, my gosh, 23 years, a U.S. Navy SEAL. If I were Trump, I'd be tempted to ask him as Interior Secretary to visit with everyone with whom I had a minor dispute, just to arm wrestle and resolve it.
The enforcer, no doubt. Look, I think the Perry pick is actually perfect for Secretary of Energy. People forget that 25% of almost all jobs created during the Obama administration were in Rick Perry's Texas, largely because of the energy boom and the proper job creation that comes when you deregulate that sector, and that you're now connecting the Department of Energy, one of the most wasted bureaucracies in our federal system, to someone who understands the creation of jobs being a huge priority for that department. I think is a big win for America.
Adriana, the president-elect meeting today with Pastor Scott, with Jim Brown, a group of African Americans. The president campaigned on the inner city and making certain that when he does restore prosperity, it will be for all Americans, and talked about specifically, though, the inner city. And he has really set expectations, I think, high. I think, by the way, that's entirely appropriate, and that the Republican Party, and specifically this president, will be an alternative that African Americans haven't had in at least a half century.
That's right. I mean, if you look at so many of these failed urban cities, who's running these cities? It's liberals, it's liberal mayors, it's liberal governors. And what a change it's going to be with a President Trump. Donald Trump is going to revitalize these failing urban communities, whether that's abolishing Common Core and improving the public school system, or giving or allowing parents to go to charter schools if their school system's failing them, to he knows how to grow the economy and jobs, and he will bring revitalization to these communities. So these inner cities, they need a better education system and they need job opportunities. And Donald Trump is the perfect person, perfect president to deliver both.
All of this, I mean, there's so many people being put into new jobs and this administration being filled out. I mean, it's an extraordinary process to watch. I just learned this week that a friend of mine, a friend of ours, Georgette Mossbacher, is up for an ambassadorship in Europe. And I'm thinking, this government is just now beginning to be formed, and the work that has to be going on over there is incredible Tony, I mean, this is going to go on for months, isn't it?
Absolutely. And Lou, when you consider the fact that this is a president, an administration that really is beholden to nobody, who never received that type of huge establishment support throughout its campaign season, he really has the opportunity to make the best picks for the country based on the merit of the person, not based on some allegiance to a special interest group. And that's a very powerful thing.
Adriana, thanks for being with us. Great to have you with us. And
Great to be
Tony,
here, Lou.
good to have you. Thank you both so much.